Yep. Good evening, everyone. Right. Last session, I given you overview on all data types that we are going to work. So we discussed all the data types, how to handle in JavaScript. So primitive types and non-primitive, including date, regular expressions, how they are managed. We discussed about that. Next, after understanding the data types, in the basics, you need to know about variables, data types. These are JavaScript language basics. So in JavaScript language basics, variables, data types that we already finished just. Now we have operators and statements. Operators and statements, same that you will learn in general JavaScript. Here we will not go into that. I will just give you a list. I hope you already know JavaScript operators and the general statements, what they are. What are JavaScript operators? JavaScript operators are actually categorized into so many types. We have arithmetic operators. So we have comparison operators. We have assignment operators. So we have logical operators. So we have bitwise operators. So we have special operators. These are all basic different types of operators in JavaScript. In React, I am not going to discuss about operators. You should know about them. In general JavaScript, you will learn. But whatever you learned in JavaScript, same concept here also. Arithmetic operators, you know. So you have addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, right? Modulus division. So we have increment, decrement. So we have double asterisk. Double asterisk is exponent. It is exponent. Actually, this is new in JavaScript from ES5 and higher versions. The double asterisk is a new operator. Actually, earlier, this double asterisk is used with math.pow. Earlier, in old version, it used to be like that. Now, in the new versions, we use double asterisk. That is a operator, and comparison operators all are same. Comparison operators like equal, we have triple equal. I hope you know the meaning of these. What is difference between double equal and triple equal? In JavaScript, double equal is comparing values of different type. You can compare values of different type. Triple equal is identical equal. It will compare only the values of same type. That means different types of values you cannot compare by using triple equal. It is for only same type of value. Different types of values we can compare. For example, suppose we have a 10. It is a string is equal to 10. Then it will return true. Why? Because it can convert that string 10 into a number string, number 10, and compare with 10. But we should not convert, directly compare. Then we have to better use triple equal. So what triple equal will do? It will return false because you cannot compare a string with a number. So you can compare only either both strings or both numbers like that. So that is comparison. Assignment operators, logical operators, bitwise operators, you will learn all this. I will do one thing today. I will upload one JavaScript document into Classroom. In that document, all basics notes will be there. If anybody have to refer that, you can refer the JavaScript basics notes, operators, statements, variables, data types, and all. Right? In React, we will discuss only the important new concepts required for JavaScript. Huh? So these all operators information you will find there. Special operators, you need to know what are the special operators. Actually, JavaScript special operators, we have an operator like type of, we have instance of, we have in, so we have new, we have void. These are delete. These are all the special operators. JavaScript special operators, we have type of, instance of, in, new, void, and delete. These all comes under category of special. So in the notes I upload, you will get the list of all operators and their purpose. You can just go through them, right? Because these are all general JavaScript basics only, right? Next, in JavaScript basics, you already aware of statements. So JavaScript statements, I hope you know all this. What are the JavaScript statements? So we have selection statements. What are the selection statements? Keywords. Selection statements: if, else, switch, case, default. All these comes under selection. This all comes under selection statements. We have looping control statements. Looping control statements, we have for, while, and do while. Those are looping control. We have iteration statements. Iteration statements for in, we have for, off. These are iteration. We have jump statements. Jump statements will be like, so break, continue, and return. This comes under jump. We have exception handling statements. Exception handling statements are like, so, and finally. So throw and finally. These are exception handling statements. So these are JavaScript operators and statements which are common everywhere. So these are all the JavaScript basics that you will learn in JavaScript. So JavaScript language basics means variables, data types, operators, statements. So, and one more important. Now here I will put little bit time. So we will see JavaScript functions. Here I will spend some time. Clearly I will explain because these we have to use regularly in our React. So you need to be very perfect in understanding and working with the functions. So I will give a bit good idea on that so that it is very helpful for you. This is generally learned in JavaScript. One more time detail I am giving here to you. Actually, what is the purpose of a function? Generally, a function is used for refactoring the code. That is the technical concept. A function is used for refactoring the code. What is refactoring? Generally, functions are used for refactoring. Refactoring is nothing but, refactoring is the process is the process of extracting a set of lines and storing under the reference of file or function. So extracting a set of lines and storing them under a reference of a file or a function is called refactor. What is advantage of this is so that you can reuse the code. Instead of rewriting, you can reuse the code. So the concept of JavaScript function is to refactor the code. It is used for refactoring. I will show you what is refactoring. See, suppose let's go to our project. In this project, we will go to, this is our project. Now in this project, this is our index.js. It is a JavaScript file. In this JavaScript file, I am writing a simple logic for where I is equal to 1, I less than or equal to 10, I plus plus, and console.log I. This is just a logic to print numbers from 1 to 10. It's a simple loop I created. I want this 4 lines again and again to use in different locations. I want to use. Then what you can do is you can select these lines, right click on those lines. When you right click on these lines, you will see there is an option called refactor. You will find an option called refactor. So I right click on those lines and select refactor. When I select refactor, it will ask extract to a new file or to a function. I am selecting extract to a function, and it will ask what is the function name. I will give function name print numbers and hit enter. And hit enter. Now you can see a function is created around it. So function is used to refactor the code. Refactoring means combining all those lines and keeping in one unit, so that whenever you want, you can access and use it. Suppose I want to print numbers, then I can just call this. You can see it is called here. When you call, what happens? It will print the numbers from 1 to 10. Suppose I am giving some 1 to 5. It will print 1 to 5. I want again, then again I can call it print numbers. 2 times it will print. So you can extract a set of lines and you can keep in a separate reference so that we can access and use it. This mechanism is technically called as refactor. So technically, if anybody asked what is function purpose, so the function purpose is refactoring the code. What is meant by refactoring? Extracting the lines and storing under reference so that you can access those lines by calling the reference anytime. So you can reuse the code without rewriting the code. So now if I run this, let's see, I will temporarily run this for you. And here I am saying node index.js. It will print the 5 again and again. 2 times it is printing the logic. It is reusing the logic. That is what actually the concept of refactor. So syntactically, how we do? So we write a function and a name, and in that we put some statements. That is how we define, and we call that. Don't get confused, because in software programming, there is a concept called refactoring and reflection. Refactor and reflection, both are related to programming, but different. Refactoring is different. Refactoring is this. Reflection is a different concept that you will see in OOP concepts, object-oriented programming. In OOP languages, there will be a concept reflection. C++, Java, .NET, they will do. Here it is not reflection, it is refactor. Okay. So the purpose of a function is to refactor the code so that we can reuse. By using functions only. So you need to be very strong in working with functions to become a React developer. React developers' daily work will be with only functions, majority. Earlier we used to work with classes, even now we will do, but now the modern React prefers functions better than classes. So that is, we will learn both of them. Initially, function is very important for you. Now, in this actually, function contains, I will put an example here. How to refactor the code. To refactor the code, just you can do one thing. First, so add few lines of code in your JavaScript file. First, you add few lines of code in JavaScript file. Remember, this refactoring will not work in HTML file. It will not work in HTML file. You have to manually write. This refactoring option will work only in JavaScript file directly, not in HTML file. For example, you see, this is index.js file. This is index.html file. Here I want to reuse these lines. I am selecting, right click, refactor is there. But here refactor function will not be there. There is no concept of function. You will not find a function. In that you found function. Here it will not be there. So you have to manually write a function. But in JavaScript files, we can extract. We can right click and we can say refactor. It will say extract to function, because it is already extracted. Now it is not there, because already it is extracted to a function. It itself is a function, right? So technically, the concept is called as refactor. Equal to 1, I less than or equal to 5, I plus plus, and console.log I. Now what we have to do, select the lines, and after that you have to right click on selection. Then you have to select refactor. Extract to global function. You have to select extract to global function, and you need to set name for function. Set name I given as print numbers. Like this, we need to set name. This is the process of refactoring your code. You can manually write, or if already written, then you can extract into a function. You can directly start writing in a function, or you have to do this process. Now, if you are manually writing, actually here, every function comprises of three basic things. Declaration, it will contain signature, and it will contain definition. This is important. Every function contains three levels: a function declaration, function signature, and function definition. Function contains three phases, right? Actually, suppose I am writing a function like this here. Suppose we are writing a function print numbers, and here this is what we are writing. Now actually this function means this is the function. In this part, function print numbers, this part is called as, we call this part as declaration, function declaration. That is function declaration. And this part, print numbers, this part is called as function signature. This is signature. And this part of what functionality it does, this is called definition. So function contains declaration, function contains signature, and function contains definition. Declaration means including the word function keyword, function keyword and function name. This together is called declaration. Only the function name, it is called as signature. And what functionality it will do? Block. That block is called definition. So function contains three phases. You have function declaration, signature, and definition. In order to access function, what we need? In order to access function, what you need? Signature. You need signature. You should not call declaration. You should not call definition. You should not call function name. You should call function signature. That means we need the signature of a function, signature. So print numbers, you need signature to access the function. So that is signature. Signature is used to access and use the function anywhere. So function have three important things. So we have syntactically like this. Suppose you are writing function print numbers. This is referred as declaration. Only print numbers. This is referred as signature. And we have block. This is referred as definition. These are the phases of a function. Function declaration, signature, and definition. That is important. So when you write a function, you have to write by using all these. Now this is one example I will give. So print numbers is one example, and to call it we have to use print numbers. It is going to execute and display, right? That is basic. I hope everyone is clear, right? How to write a function, its declaration, signature, and definition. That is the basic point. Second important, you need to know function parameters. Function parameters. You need to know function parameters. Actually, function parameters generally, why we need parameters? Why a function needs parameters? Generally, parameters are used. Parameters are used to modify function. Parameters are used to modify function. What is the purpose of a parameter in a function? Parameters, the purpose of parameter is to modify function. Functions are modified by using parameters. That means, for example, a function without parameters will do the same work every time. But function with parameter can change according to situation. That is modifying functions. For example, here you return print numbers. And here it is printing. Whenever I call print numbers, how many numbers it will print? 5 numbers. Every time it will print 5 numbers. Suppose I want to print 10 numbers. Suppose I want to print 7 numbers. For every purpose, we don't write a function. Only one function should able to do different works. In that case, into the function, we can pass parameter. Here the parameter, how many? That means how many numbers you want to print. This is parameter. And this parameter will be used here. How many? That means how many numbers it is going to print. That depends on parameter now. That means you can modify this function now. If I say 5, it will print 5. If I say 10, it will print 10. That means the functionality of any function can be modified by using parameters. You can modify by using parameters. That means now it can print here. See, print numbers. So now we need to pass the parameter. How many to print? Suppose I want to print 5. Then this value is passed into this. Now that will be used here. So the parameter that you declared, in the definition of, in the declaration of function, this parameter is called formal parameter. It is called formal parameter. And the parameter you passed into that value you passed, this is called actual parameter. How many parameters currently that function is accepting? How many parameters currently the function is accepting? 1. That is called arguments. That means how many arguments it is expecting. That means how many parameters it is expecting. So arguments means how many number of parameters a function is taking. That is called as arguments. In the declaration, whatever you return, those are called formal parameters. In the calling of function, whatever you pass, these are called actual. That means now what happens here, in a memory is allocated. How many? In that memory, 5 will be stored. That is what actually it can do. The memory is allocated, in that 5 will be stored. That means it will print 5 numbers. So parameters are used to modify the function. And here they are modifying the function here. You see, that means I will run this. It will print 5 numbers. Later, I can call it again. And this time I can print only 3 numbers I want. Then it is going to print both. We can modify the function anytime. That is the concept of parameter. So parameters are used to modify the function. And parameters defined in a function declaration. function declaration are known as formal parameters. Formal parameters. Remember, formal parameter is just a memory reference name. Is just a memory reference name. So you can store any type of value in parameter. You can store any kind of value in parameter. That means you can store a primitive type or you can store an non-primitive type. That means it can be number, string, boolean, null, undefined, array, object, map, anything. Date, function. Even you can store a function also. You can store a function as function parameter. That means remember, formal parameters are memory reference. In that memory reference, you can store anything. Because many times people have doubt like what kind of value we can store in a parameter. You can store any type of value. Including a function also you can store inside function. So very important. So parameter is mandatory. That means every parameter is mandatory. Every parameter is mandatory. That and every parameter have order dependency. Parameter have order dependency. Every parameter is mandatory and every parameter is having order dependency. That means you can have multiple parameters. You can have multiple parameters, but have to use in same order. You have multiple parameters. You can have multiple parameters, but you have to use in same order. That means you cannot ignore any parameter. You cannot ignore any parameter. JavaScript, especially JavaScript, will not support function overloads. It will not support function overloads officially. So technically, what is the function overloads in OOP concepts you will learn generally. It will not support function overload. That means a function can do only one work. You can modify its work. But in many programming languages, we can design one function to do different works. But here you can give a function with only one type of functionality. That functionality can be modified, but its work will be similar. That means, for example, I will show you these all points. We will see that you can have multiple parameters, any type of parameter. You can do that. See here. Suppose I am writing function print, say details. Details is a function. This details function is expecting ID, is expecting name, is expecting price, is expecting stock, is expecting cities, is expecting rating, like this. These are all parameters. Remember, as I told you, parameters are only reference names. Suppose city need to be an array. City need to be an array. You write like this? No, because parameters are just memory reference names. Memory reference names. That means variable name. That means you have to just give a name. In name, you can store anything you want. You know, JavaScript is not a strongly typed language. If it is a strongly typed language, we can put restriction like ID must be number, name must be string, price must be number, like that. Here, no chance. In ID, I can store a string. In ID, I can store an object. In ID, I can store an array. There is no restriction for that. Right? Because JavaScript is not a strongly typed language, there is no chance you can store anything inside it. That is the reason here we can define this, we can access this. Suppose I am using now console.log. I am printing the details. What are the details to print? ID. ID is equal to ID. Suppose is equal to, we need to access the parameter. In the next line, name is equal to, we need to access name. In the next line, so price is equal to, we need to access price. In the next line, stock is equal to, we need to access stock. In the next line, we need cities. Cities is an array. I will use cities dot to string. And in the next line, we have rating. Rating, we will define what is it. Rating is an object. In that object, what kind of data maybe you can define like properties. That means I will print like this, rating dot rate. In the square brace, I will print like rating dot count. Like this, we will define. Now, whenever I call details into that, we have to pass all these. And you can see by default, ESLint is working. ESLint is our language analysis tool. We installed ESLint. It is going to give you the complete suggestions. And it says that ID is any type, name is any type they are. So it's not necessary that you need to store a number only. You can store anything. So how do you restrict the types? No chance. That is the reason we use TypeScript as a language. So JavaScript has a lot of limitations and problems, so which are not satisfying for a developer to build an application. And if you are not satisfied with the JavaScript way as a developer, then you have to use TypeScript as a language, which several companies are doing. So as React developer, you have to learn two languages, JavaScript and TypeScript. You have to learn JavaScript and come here. TypeScript I will teach you here. We will learn TypeScript specially here. Separately we will learn here. Once we learn how to build React script, then we will see how to build them with TypeScript also. But for that you need to learn a TypeScript language, which I will teach you. We will discuss TypeScript and we will see that. So in TypeScript, there is possibility of setting restrictions, but in JavaScript, no chance. So ID, I am passing here 1. Name, I am passing, it's a string. So some Samsung TV. Price is a number, I am passing some number. Stock is a Boolean, true. Cities is an array. I declared an array meta character. In that we have Delhi, in that we have Hyderabad. And rating is an object. Object means block. In that object, rate is 4.2, comma count is some 4,500. Like this we define. This is how we need to pass the values. Suppose when we are dealing with this temporarily, suppose price is not there. Price is not there for a product. If price is not there for a product, suppose I am writing 2 and I am writing like some mobile, and price is temporarily not there, then I remove this and I will put true because price is not there. But unfortunately what happens now is this true will be stored in the price location. It will be stored in that price location. It is not going to store in stock, because order wise this is third place price. So then if I want to ignore anything, then what you have to do, you have to keep a place for it. In that place, you have to just keep null. You can just keep null. Null is when we are expecting dynamically. Statically expecting, then we have to keep as undefined. We have to keep undefined. Now for that, you have to write logic. That means what is the logic you need to write? So here you have to write if price is equal to undefined. That means if price is not mentioned, then what we do? Print these details without price. Print those details without price. Otherwise, what to do? So that means otherwise means else. What to do? Print the details, all the details. Huh? So here print all the details including price. I will copy here. It will print all the details including price. Here we will print price. Price is equal to coming from where? Price. This is how we need to manage the logics. That means if any product you don't want to pass any value, for that you cannot simply ignore it. That space, that place is mandatory. In that place, you can put the value. But what is the value? Undefined or null. Undefined or null. So now I will print here console.log. I will just put a separator here. So two products details are separately printed. Now I am just running this here. So you can see for one product, it is going to print, for one product, it is going to print price. ID, name, price, stock, cities, rating. For second product, you can see for second product, it is not printing price. For second product, price is ignored. So it is printing only ID, name, stock, cities, and rating. Why price is ignored? Because I written logic for it. If I don't write, it will return undefined. Price will be there, it will return undefined. We have to manually manage all this. This is the major issue as a developer you will face, and you will not be satisfied because JavaScript is in this way only. But you have to handle everything like this. So parameters are very important. So you can have multiple parameters. That means you can define multiple parameters, but have to use in same order. So you cannot ignore any parameter, right? Every parameter is same. It will not support any overloading, right? So one function you have to write in that way. This is the example for that. This is the example just for your reference. So we have function parameters. Now, when you are dealing with parameters, as I told you, you can have any type of parameter. Even a function can be as parameter. Function can be as parameter. For example, see now. Suppose I am writing another one, function, some verify password. In this verify password, first they will enter password. They will enter password. After that, if password is correct, then success function will execute. If password is wrong, then error function will execute. That means success and error here we are writing as functions. But formal parameter means it is written with just name. That name can hold a function or an array or anything. For example, see now, we are writing if password is equal to some admin, then success is a function to execute. Otherwise, else error is a function to execute. You return two functions in function parameter. In a function parameter, you return two functions. One function will execute when success. Another function will execute when it is failure. This mechanism of having functions to execute according to situation is called callback. This mechanism is called callback, and this technique is officially called as promise. This technique is called as promise. Promise is separately written also, I will tell you. Separately we write promise also, but this technique is called promise. Promise means you given one task. The promise gives a guarantee that the promise is fulfilled or promise is rejected. If fulfilled, then what is the result? If rejected, then what is the result? So technically, the mechanism of giving functions and leaving them to the situation means if satisfied, one function, if not satisfied, another function. This mechanism is called as callback. So generally here we defined success and error and we tried them as function. Then how do we pass into it? We will pass like this: verify password. Into that, first password. Password is what? Suppose some, so John, that is password. After that, comma. Now a callback function. You have to write a function. This function will execute if it is success, comma, another function. This function will execute when it fails. That means now this function will be used as success. This will be used as error. This mechanism is called callback. And the mechanism of providing multiple functions and reporting the correct issue, what happened, this is also called as promise, right? In your JavaScript, you will come across with such promises and callbacks regularly. Inbuilt are there. Here we created our own callback. And what the first function have to do? This first function have to display console.log. It should display login success. When it will execute, when it is correct. What is the second function? This is related to error. What this function will do? Console.log, it will say invalid password. That means how many functions are there? Two. Out of them, which one will execute? That depends on situation. This is called callback. So situation satisfied, one function, not satisfied, another function. So see now here, I am typing here. So I am say node index.js. It says invalid password. So here I'm entering the correct password. Correct password is admin. Then you compile, then it say login success. It is changing. You can try this in a HTML page with prompt, document.write and all this. Just I given the logic concept. So what is this? You can have a function as parameter. If anybody asks like why you need a function as parameters, that means JavaScript function parameter can hold a function. So functions are defined as arguments. Functions are defined as arguments to handle callback. And callback is the process of executing executing function according to state and situation. State and situation. That is what actually function is. Callback is a mechanism where the functions will execute according to state and situation. Original promise I will tell you later. Actual promises I will tell you later. But this is one important example for that. This is an example. In this example, just I given you the arguments here, how to configure and how to define. Now, another important is, so you can pass parameters in a function. Now the question is, how many parameters like this we can pass in a function? So passing lot of parameters in a function is not good idea. It is not a good idea to pass lot of parameters, because passing lot of parameters in a function lead to injection attacks. Creating functions with parameters will lead to injection attacks. In software programming development, applications have to face lot of hacking problems. In that, so many technical problems will be there. That means in software programming, so many technical problems will be there. Technical problems means in especially web development, you will come across with CORS. CORS is actually cross origin resource sharing. This is one regular issue you will face in web development. That is cross origin resource sharing. We have XSS. So this is cross-site scripting attacks. We have XSS. We have cross-page posting. We have cross-page posting. We have request forgery. These are all technical issues. So we have injection attacks. So many injection attacks will be there. We have scripting attacks. These are all technical problems actually. Scripting attacks. So that is what already given. Scripting attacks means cross-site scripting attacks. We have injection attacks, cross-site scripting attacks, request forgeries. So many problems will be there. Parameters are dangerous every time because they lead to scripting and injection attacks. For example, see here, suppose we have a text box. In this text box, we need to ask user to enter ID. User will enter an ID 1. Now the one record must be pulled from database and it should be displayed. For that, what we do in the background, we write a logic for database. We write select star from table where ID is equal to 1. Like this we write. That means the backend logic is written like this for that. Now what happens is, anybody who is writing here, he will click there and he will put a semicolon and he will write a command delete from table. If he knows the table name, if he can hack your table name, then he writes the command like this. This command is going to execute after this command. That means it will delete all the records. This is called SQL injection. Now this is because of parameters. For example, I will tell you another point here. See, means scripting attacks means how they will happen. I can show you just HTML. We'll see here. No? See. Now I'm using var enter message, var message prompt. I said enter message, and we will print document dot write whatever message he typed. Now see here, when I run this, it is asking enter message. So it will ask to enter message. I'm entering message as welcome. I click OK. It is printing welcome. That's okay. But see here, I am typing. So welcome B to HTML, close B. What you are trying to do here? You are trying to write some code in a text box. That means you are trying to hack me. That means any ordinary user will not write any code in a text box. He will just put the value. And somebody is writing some code, means he is trying to hack me. That means he is trying to edit my content. He is trying to modify my content, which we should not allow. But you see, currently it allows. How anybody can modify your content like this? This is very dangerous. This we need to prevent. For experienced people, they ask how to prevent this. For an experienced person, they will ask how to prevent this. If anybody writes such queries, how to prevent. So developing an application is not just achieving the output what client wants. We need to secure application from lot of attacks. Otherwise it will fail. Once application goes live, hackers are ready. They are ready, waiting for your application. They start hacking your application. You don't need a hacker. Just robots are enough. Bots are there. That is why we use CAPTCHA. Why we use CAPTCHA? Because to prevent robots from using our site. Because if there is no CAPTCHA, robots can log in into your site, register into your site. They can start doing various activities on your site. After all, robots can control your site if you don't have a proper protection. These all security measurements. We need to take care about this. These kind of attacks are possible if you are allowing parameters. That is the reason, as much as possible, we avoid, we will not put lot of parameters. That is dangerous to application. So then the point here is like this, how many parameters you can pass? As per ECMA standards, currently we are using ECMA language, ECMA standards. There can be maximum 1024 parameters. Maximum number of parameters allowed in a function is 1024. 1024 as per the ECMA standards. So 1024 parameters you can pass, but that is not good to handle all this. So what you can do is from the versions ES5 and higher versions onwards, they introduced a concept called REST parameters. They introduced a concept called REST parameters. REST parameter is nothing but one REST parameter can allow multiple arguments. Parameter is only one. Into that you can pass so many. That means you don't need lot of parameters now. Parameter is only one. For example, now here, so that means the maximum number of parameters here. So ECMA standards. So standards. ECMA standards define max 1024 params. So ES5 and higher allows to use use rest parameter. It allows to use rest parameter. What is rest parameter is nothing but a single rest parameter. Rest parameter can allow multiple arguments. It can allow multiple arguments. A single rest parameter can allow multiple arguments. And it is defined by using dot 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 and parameter name. Rest parameters are defined by using dot dot dot. And one parameter can allow multiple arguments now. For example, now see here, suppose I am trying to store a function details, same like previous. In that we have ID, so we have name, we have price, we have stock, we have cities, we have rating. For all of these, you can just keep one rest parameter dot 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 dot, and simply we can define some product details. One parameter is enough. In that one parameter, you can store any number of arguments. Any number of arguments. Now remember, this product details will behave like an array. It is now like an array. In that array, you can store different values. That means now see here, what we are doing is we are using details into that. So one, so and say TV and say price and say true and say city. So here and say rating. That means all these are rate is some 3.5 and count is some 5,000. All these are stored in these products. You can see it says that it is an array type. That means now if all are stored in this array, I hope you know how to handle the array. Now how to separately collect them. That means where one is stored, product details of 0. Product details of 0 contains ID. 1 contains TV. 2 contains price. Instead of that, you remembered we learned destructuring. We discussed array destructuring. So I will declare ID, so name, price, stock, cities, and rating. And here equal to product details. That's it. That means parameters are only one, but it is handling multiple arguments. This is better. This is better. You should not allow multiple parameters. Only one parameter can handle all of this. Now you can print those details. Printing those details is same like previous program where I given this. Yeah, I will print all these details. Means I will just use a console log for printing those details. That means ID, name, price, stock, cities, rating. We are printing the same details. Now you can see here. So when we configured this, let's run this and see now. So node index.js, it is printing all the details. This time, no several parameters, only one. One parameter can handle all of them. This is the best way. Now here some restrictions are there. The restrictions are nothing but some rules are there. This is the example actually. For rest parameter, this is example. The rules for rest parameter is nothing but every function can have only one rest parameter. Every function can have only one rest parameter. You cannot have multiple rest parameters. Only one rest parameter. Another important, rest parameter parameter must be the last parameter in formal list. Formal list. That means along with rest parameter, you can have other parameters also. It's not like only rest parameter, other parameters also you can have. But rest parameter must be last. It must be last parameter. That means you see here, suppose I am printing this details. Here I am adding, after details, I am adding comma, I am adding title. It is showing error. Why it is showing error? Can't we use other parameters along with rest parameters? You can use, but rest parameter must be last. You can see that is the problem. It says a rest parameter must be last parameter in list. Must be the last parameter. That means you can put title here. You can put title before it. After that, rest parameter. Now, if anybody asks why a rest parameter is last parameter only, why a rest parameter is last parameter only? Because it uses an iterator pattern to read all the arguments, which will read up to end. Which will read up to end. So after end, there cannot be anything else coming. So it is using an iterator which will read up to end. So it should be last only. Up to end means it should be last. If it is front, it is having some contents after, which cannot be done. That means it reads up to end. So it should be up to end. It should be at the end. Then how do we pass the first parameter before ID? The first one is some TV details or say product details and comma. So this product details will be stored. This product details will be stored in this title. And all other details are stored into the product details. Understood? That is how it is going to work. So the first parameter refers to title. The second, others all are stored under the reference of product details. Now what I will do in the console log, I will put here first, I will print the title. After the title, I will print all other details. Now you can see in the output, it is going to print the title and other details. The product title, and it is going to print all other details. That is actually the function parameters. So how do we define the parameters and use them? This is another important option. So functions, parameters, and how do we deal with the function parameters, right? Single parameter, multiple parameters, rest parameters. If anybody asks, can I have an array as parameter? Yes. Object as parameter? Yes. Function as parameter? Yes. You can have anything. So this is basically how we do, right? This is enough. One more important here is actually you will later understand another concept called in interviews. These are important. In React interviews, you will find these questions very regularly. What is rest parameter? What are callbacks? So, and what is promises? And all these are very important. Another option is we have a concept of spread parameters. Newly, generally everywhere we are using the spread parameters. How we can define what is difference between a spread and a rest. Spread and rest, now in some various advanced occasions, you may have to work with these spread parameters regularly. So you should know the difference, how this spread works, the concept of spread works. But initially, I will tell you that initially this is all about the parameters, right? I hope you understood all this well, right? Now, once you know this, now we know other options, like we will see how to define function with return type, Void functions function with return types. Arrow functions means shorthand techniques, how to handle them. That we'll see in next session. Right, in the next session, because these are all the things you need to first put practically also. Right. So many things we discussed here. These all things you need to put practically. So after next session, so we will have functions, then OOP concepts, then we can start working with React, right? So functions and OOP concepts, these are the topics. In OOPs, you will learn all, because React uses a lot of object-oriented programming. We should concentrate on these two very well. Functions and OOP concepts, object-oriented concepts, because complete React works with that kind of scenarios. Then function-related more things that we will see in next session. So next session, tomorrow no session again. Our next session will be on Monday, right? Monday we will continue. Okay. In Monday session, we will finish functions. We will start OOPs. It will take 3-4 days more to finish all the JavaScript overview. Then we can start working with our React. In React, you will learn all detailed concept. Okay. It will take 3-4 sessions more to finish all the advanced things to understand. Okay.